Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host, Sean McGahee. In this show, we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, and Patreon, and contact Dayspring Discussions on the Facebook group, Twitter account, and dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Well, happy Thursday, everyone. It is a bright and sunny day here in Austin. We've got a couple of rain clouds that moved in the last couple of days, which is kind of nice because that means my grass is going to be green instead of brown, so that's always a good thing. Hope you're enjoying your week. Hope you went out yesterday and read a couple of comics. I'm sitting down, talking some news. You guys fire back, of course, afterwards. Let me know what you think, so let's get right into it. First off, some housekeeping stuff. Tomorrow, Luke Cage Season 2 comes out on Netflix, guys. I'm planning on checking it out this weekend. Like I said before, I try to spread out my Netflix viewings now. I'll watch maybe 1 or 2 episodes a day, not try to cram them all in like a 24-hour period. So I'm going to watch a couple episodes. I'll come back next week, see where I'm at, and let you know what I think so far, so you guys can check that out this weekend along with me. Tonight, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom comes out, and of course I'm going to go see it this weekend. I'll share my thoughts on that as well, so go check it out. Let me know what you think. I sat down last night and watched the first Jurassic World, and you know what? It's really enjoyable. It really is, and I gotta say, I feel like Universal missed a good sequel or spin-off opportunity at the end there with T-Rex and Blue. That could have been a great dinosaur friendship. Rex and Blue, make it happen, guys. Sounds like a nice little cute animated movie in my opinion. And one I just want to highlight, given the fact that I'm a big X-Men fan, and as I say, the show is an X-Men reference. X-Men Gold issue number 30, the last conclusion of Till Death Do Us Part. It's a good one, guys. You know, me, I enjoy a good X-Men wedding as much as the X-Men fan. This is a jam-packed issue full of a lot of treats, some good dialogue, some good character interaction, and a little surprise twist at the end. If you have been on the Facebook page or on the Twitter account, I kind of spoiled it for you, but it's a good read. Go check it out, and I think you'll like it. And then last bit of housekeeping. Monday was the season finale of Supergirl, which means the CW superhero shows are all officially on summer break. They finished their seasons. Next week, I'm going to have my buddy Aaron in here, and we are going to talk CW superhero shows, the Arrowverse. We're talking Arrow, Flash, Legends Tomorrow, Supergirl, and Black Lightning. We're going to talk about the seasons, how we felt about them, what was our favorite, what was our least favorite, and what do we think is to come after the season finales, guys. So tune in next week for that. Okay, well, that is it as far as housekeeping stuff. Time to get to the main meat of the show. This first one, I wouldn't really call it a story per se, but I'm going to talk about it anyway, of course, because people are expecting me to comment on it. So according to Collider, Lucasfilm is set to put the brakes on all spin-off films in regards to Star Wars. After the disappointing box office of Solo: A Star Wars Story, it looks like Lucasfilm is halting all spin-off projects, which includes a Boba Fett spin-off film that was set to be helmed by James Mangold, an Obi-Wan spin-off film that was supposedly in pre-production or being kicked around. Fans for years now have wanted an Obi-Wan spin-off film. Lucasfilm and Disney has said nothing about whether we're actually getting one. I've been a big advocate for an Obi-Wan Kenobi spin-off film just because I love the way Ewan McGregor played the character in the prequels. He's the right age to do the setting between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. And in the Marvel Comics, they can show that interesting Obi-Wan Kenobi stories are to be told in that era. So there's that. It says that Lucasfilm is set to focus more on Star Wars Episode 9 now, and the next trilogy, which I suppose is the Rian Johnson trilogy. We also have the other set of films by Benioff and Weiss that is set to come out as well. So Collider, I've listened to Collider for several years now. Movie Talk, Jedi Council, Heroes, you know, I trust them over there at Collider. They're not as credible a source as, say, like Variety, Deadline, Hollywood Reporter. Those guys, they report on stuff, and 98 to 95% of the time, they're accurate. With Collider, you have them saying that sources are saying that Lucasfilm is putting the spinoffs on hold. There are a lot of rumors going around in Hollywood. There's a lot of stuff that, flies around that turns out not to be true. I'm not saying that Lucasfilm is not putting their spinoff films on hold to focus on episode 9, but I want to hear it from the horse's mouth, I want to get it straight from them. I'm sure within the next couple weeks or even months, we're going to get a better idea of what they want to do. But at the same time, I don't want them to change their plan. This is a Warner Brothers DCEU kind of move where they had one hiccup and now they're rearranging everything, okay? Solo was a freak accident in terms of filmmaking, okay? You had your directors hired that ended up started making a film that they did not agree to make with the studio head and the writer, Lawrence Kasdan. And so Kathleen Kennedy had to let them go and bring on Ron Howard to course correct. They pretty much shot this film 1.5 times with all the reshoots, which blew up the budget, which means it had to make more money. Now, granted, even for a Star Wars film, it wasn't expected to hit $1 billion. People were thinking more like 700 million or so, and it's not going to get there. And that's just a lot of money that Lucasfilm and Disney are going to lose on the film. I get it, but in terms of storytelling, Solo's a good film. I enjoyed Solo. Yes, it has its problems. It's not perfect, but I walked in not wanting a Solo film and walked out wanting another Solo film, okay? And that means I enjoyed it. Everyone who I've talked to enjoyed the film. So from a story perspective, there is no problem, okay? Money-wise, yes, you spent way more money on this film than you should have. Had things gone smoothly, that would have been an issue. So as far as your plan of spin-off films and what you want to do, or what Lucasfilm wants to do, I don't see there's a problem. I don't think they should course correct. I don't think they should do, with every film, course correct the next film. That's what Warner Brothers has been doing, and it's not the way to do things. How you do things is you look over at your cousin, Marvel Studios. Kevin Feige has changed course once, where he took Inhumans off and put a Spider-Man film in there, okay? Once. And even then, that film wasn't in pre-production or anything. It was just the idea that they wanted to do. Other than that, they've never shied away from doing something they're confident in, okay? Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, properties that people thought were going to fail, that they never heard of before, but they had a good story, a good team behind it, they had confidence in it, okay? Your confidence is shaken after Solo, Lucasfilm. I get it. But an Obi-Wan movie would crush it with the right story, especially with an award-winning actor like Ewan McGregor. Boba Fett, as much as, I don't want a Boba Fett movie, you put a talented director like James Mangold behind it with a good story, he's going to do the right thing and crush it, okay? I get it. You didn't make the money you wanted on Solo, but it's a freak accident, okay? It's not the norm. The 3 previous Star Wars films have made over $1 billion. One of them even hitting $2 billion, okay? It's all speculative too. I'm sitting here and I'm getting worked up about something that's all speculation at this point. Collider, I believe Collider when they say they have sources that, are saying this stuff about Lucasfilm. I believe them. But at the same time, they could think this way and then next week change their minds and continue on as planned. So as far as this story and them wanting to change their plans, I think it's the wrong thing to do. But I guess they got to do what's best for them. And those people over at Lucasfilm with Kathleen Kennedy and everyone are smarter than I am. They know better than I do in regards to Lucasfilm and Star Wars and what's best for the studio. So I got to trust them, but my gut says they should have just kept the course. And we'll see how it goes. If this is true, we'll see how it goes. If they change the course, we'll wait and see exactly what's going to come of this. Because like we said, they said they're putting on hold all spin-off films to focus on Episode 9. What's happening to the Rian Johnson stuff? What's happening to the Ben Affleck and Weiss and stuff? We don't know if that's included in spin-off stuff. So we'll wait and see, guys. But fire back on the Facebook group and Twitter account. And of course, gmail.com. Let me know what you think about this rumored story. Okay, next up, Amazon is looking like they are going to make an Invincible animated series. So after rumors that there was going to be a live action Invincible film that was going to be produced by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, the writer Robert Kirkman, who's best known for creating The Walking Dead, signed a deal with Amazon to develop TV projects exclusively for Amazon Prime Video, and their first go-around is going to be the Image comic Invincible, where Amazon Studios is going to create 8 episodes that are adult-themed. Now, Invincible, for those of you who don't know, came out back in 2003 and centers around a teenage superhero named Mark Grayson, who inherited superpowers from his alien father, Omni-Man, a member of the Voltrite race. As I've said before, I'm not a fan of The Walking Dead. I've never read a Walking Dead comic book. I've only checked out the series a little bit. It's a zombie thing. I'm not into zombies. But Robert Kirkman, I will give him credit. He is a good writer, and he seems like he's becoming a smart producer when it comes to handling his properties. Invincible, I've read a little bit of. Not a lot, but a little bit. And I enjoy it. It's kind of like, almost like a Superboy kind of series, I guess you could say. It's a mixture of like, Spider-Man and Superman together. I enjoy it. I have all the confidence when they said they were going to do a live action series that it could be good. Now they're turning it into an animated series, and I'm okay with that too. Adult themes, we'll see how dark they go. Are they going to go like HBO Spawn dark? I think if they kind of, lean that off a little bit, maybe go like Voltron. Of course, I got Voltron on the mind after the latest season was so awesome. But, you don't want to go too hardcore with it. Like I said, he is a teenager who is a little bit like Spider-Man. He likes to crack the jokes, so I'd much rather him see not go full dark. Give me the violence, give me the blood and stuff like that. You want to swear a little, okay. But this character, for the most part, is a fun character, so let's have fun with the series. You don't need to make it like X-Men the Animated Series. Maybe lean just a little bit over that edge with it, and I think you'll be fine. But I think it's cool that Kirkman is, making stuff for Amazon, much like how Mark Millar signed a deal with Netflix. You got Rob Liefeld. I believe he signed a deal with Netflix as well, or one of those streaming services. But it's great because they are giving these writers a new platform and something to bring their work to a new way and even have more control over their work, which is something that the big studios or even the big comic book companies don't allow them to do. So I think it's awesome. I'm looking forward to it. You guys, of course, fire back. Let me know what you think. Paramount looks like they're in the works on some of their franchises. Now, compared to some other studios, they don't have a lot. Disney obviously has Star Wars and Marvel and all their Disney stuff. Warner Brothers has all the DC stuff along with Harry Potter. You got Universal with the Fast and Furious franchise, Jurassic World. Paramount has Star Trek, and they have Ninja Turtles. And it looks like they're looking to go on both of them. So after, what was the last one? Ninja Turtles. Oh, I can't even name the last one. Out of the Shadows, that's what it was. 2016, Ninja Turtles, Out of the Shadows. It was kind of a failure. I thought it was better than the first one, but it didn't do the money and get the praise that Paramount wanted. So according to the Hollywood Reporter, writer Andrew Dodge has been tapped to pen a new script for a new film, which of course reboots the heroes in the half shell. The new movie is going to be produced by Platinum Dunes' Michael Bay, Andrew Form, and Brad Fuller. Now, Bay also served as producer on the last Ninja Turtle films under the supervision of Paramount's previous chairman. However, you got a new guy in there now, and it said he's looking to give the franchise a new, bold direction. I'm a huge Ninja Turtle fan. I grew up on Ninja Turtles. There are two things I said I will always defend and be very protective of. One of them is Thundercats, my favorite cartoon as a child, which is why I think Thundercats Roar looks like a piece of crap. The other one is Ninja Turtles, my second favorite cartoon as a child. Grew up on Ninja Turtles, loved them to death. The new, well, not the new now, but the comic book series by IDW that's been going on for a while, really good. I'm really enjoying it. It just hurts my heart that I feel like they should have gone more towards that than the direction they did as far as the origin and the storytelling of the Ninja Turtles. I didn't like the interpretation of these last Ninja Turtles. They were big, giant CGI that really didn't show off any ninja moves, really. I mean, they were more like Transformers than anything, and that kind of bugged me. So in this next one, I hope they're leaner, meaner, and able to actually show off ninja moves, much like the original live-action film, which to this day, I still love to death. I think it's the best Ninja Turtle movie to date, and one of the best comic book movies, in my opinion, to date, too. So I love Ninja Turtles. I want them to get this right. I think they need to look to the original source material, look to the original creators for inspiration as far as what makes the Turtles work and how they should work. That's kind of be my opinion on that. Now, also Paramount has changed directions in regards to Star Trek. Now, writer-producer Alec Kurtzman, who helped co-write the 2009 big screen reboot, is now set to be the showrunner for Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery. The previous showrunners were asked to be let go after accusations that they harassed the show's writers. Kurtzman will begin overseeing the drama with the 6th episode of Season 2 now in production. Also, Kirkman has noted that he's looking to reinvigorate this franchise and calls for him to oversee the expansion of a new series, miniseries, and even animated series. So Kirkman is looking to bring Star Trek back into the fold. You know, back in like the 80s and 90s, you had a lot of Star Trek going on. Of course, you had Star Trek The Next Generation. Then you brought in Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise. You had the old animated series back when the original Star Trek was going on too. There's been a lot of Star Trek on TV as well as in film. It's a popular franchise. Not as popular as, say, Star Wars. I mean, let's kind of, do that. But it's very different. Star Trek has always been kind of, I would say, the thinking man's sci-fi, and I give it credit for that. It always talks about those bigger, hypothetical, human issues where Star Wars was always more fun and more pew-pew kind of stuff. So, in the latest interpretations of the films, I have enjoyed. As a Star Wars fan, I like that they made it more action-oriented. Some long-term Star Trek fans have not liked that, and I get it. I tried Star Trek Discovery. I couldn't really get into it. I watched the first half of the first season, and I get it. I get it why it's enjoyable, but for the most part, I watch a lot of TV. I got to pick and choose what I keep up to date with, and while I know that Star Trek Discovery is a decent show and a good sci-fi show, I got other stuff that I get excited about to watch, so I had to let it go. But any event, I think it'd be awesome to bring more Star Trek back into the fold. Of course, you got Star Wars coming back with animated series, live-action series, and of course multiple movies. Why not do the same thing for Star Trek? They play to a very different audience, and there's room for both, in my opinion. There's room for both. There always has been. Animation, I think, would be a cool thing to do. A mini-series, it's all about the story. It's all about the story and development and execution. Anything can be good if you have the right team, the right story, the right execution, everything behind it. So, and Star Trek is no different. It's a vast world, a vast universe that is methodical and has a lot to offer. I'm all for it, And Kirkman, like I said, I loved what he's done with these last couple of movies, even though some people might not, but he's definitely proven to be a talented writer and collaborator when it comes to everything. So I'm all for that too. You guys fire back. Let me know what you think about this current interpretation of the Star Trek era, both in the movies and on Discovery. I know some old Trekkies have issues with Discovery and the new movies, but you know what? It's bringing in more fans who haven't watched Star Trek. And if you want the franchise to survive, you got to bring in new blood, which means you got to change it up a little bit, okay? You got to get that teenager or young 20-something guy who, has never seen Star Trek. That's what brought me in. When I saw that 2009 film, I saw something in Star Trek I hadn't seen in other films. Not that I didn't enjoy some of the other films or even some of the other TV series, but It showed me something new in Star Trek, something exciting that got me reading Star Trek comics, checking out Star Trek Discovery, and looking forward to new movies. And if you want any franchise to survive, you got to look at ways to bring in new viewers. I think that's what Kirkman is thinking about, and we'll see how it goes, guys. All right, that is it for me today. Fire back. Let me know what you think about the topics I have mentioned. Of course, like I said, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom and Luke Cage are the big things for the weekend. Check them out. Come back next week, and we can talk about it, guys. That's it for me today. Until next time, may the Force be with us all.